What's up everybody, 49's Fine, back at you again today with another precious metals video, and today I wanted to talk about rounds versus bars. A huge thank you to our first two community members, Scott and Zeus. Thank you guys very much for being part of the finest. Let me preface this video by stating this is not financial advice, this is for entertainment purposes only. So the question of the day is, should you get bars or should you get rounds? Each have their own benefits, each have their own drawbacks. So we'll just hop right into it. With rounds, obviously the entry price is gonna be the lowest. So if you're like me and your budget isn't quite high enough to consistently be buying bars, maybe you can only get a hold of 4 or 5 ounces a month, I would say rounds. Rounds are the best way to go. If you need a low entry price to get into stacking, I would definitely recommend generic Buffalo rounds. If you're wanting to do something that is sovereign, if you want something that's backed by a nation, and you're in the Western Hemisphere, I would recommend something like the Canadian Maple. But ultimately, the cheapest entry price, the easiest way to get into silver is the silver Buffalo round. You can pick these up. You can pick up 2 or 3 a paycheck, 1 a paycheck, 1 a week, and after a while, you'll have a decent little stack built up. Another huge advantage of buying rounds is its divisibility. If you ever had to use this for trade or barter, you can get small things with this. With 1 ounce of silver, you can get a relatively small purchase or a small amount of goods or a small service for a single Buffalo round. You can't do that with bars. Bars are going to be quite a bit more expensive. So in terms of approachability and price, and in terms of trade and divisibility, Buffalo rounds are gonna be the absolute best for that. Maples are as well, if you want to go with something a little bit more premium. Those are my main strengths, in my opinion, of rounds. Also, side note, if you wanted to pour and make your own bars and your own rounds, just drop a couple of these bad boys in your crucible and you're good to go. You're gonna have a pretty hard time dropping something big and chunky like this into a crucible, so that's another bonus for rounds. That doesn't apply to everybody. Not everybody's going to pour, so that's just kind of like a side benefit. Now let's talk about bars. This is my very first bar. I finally got a hold of one. I'm very proud of it. It feels amazing in the hand. It feels like a weapon. Like this thing is huge. And you can see the design beautifully there. It just really blows up the artwork for you. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So I would say that one benefit of bars is the amount of satisfaction you feel when you hold it in your hand. I know that doesn't really serve a utility or a purpose, but I just want to throw that in there, that whenever you hold a 10-ounce silver bar, you can feel the weight. You can feel the true value in your hands. If you're someone that wants to play the gold to silver ratio, I would recommend bars because you can get secondary bars. You can get scratched and beat up bars for a very low premium. And on top of that, a lot of these bars are on dealers like Costco and Walmart, and you can get a lower premium right off the bat and then use credit card rewards to get the premium even lower. You can do that with rounds as well and coins as well, but ultimately, if you're finding like secondary market bars and you're just going for pure weight and you just want to get the most bang for your dollar, I would go with bars. Bars aren't things that I can typically buy on a consistent basis. I don't have the money to just buy these every week or every 2 weeks. I mean, for me, that's a little bit out of my personal price range. So if you're just getting into silver, I would just kind of focus on rounds and kind of understanding how you can save more, understanding how you can live a little bit more conservatively with your money, reduce your cost of living, and kind of really get into the habit and build your silver muscles and buying frequently. And then once you kind of understand how much silver you can afford every month, then you can start looking at whether it's feasible for you to pick up one of these once a paycheck or once a month or once every 2 months. So that's another strength actually of rounds and coins, is that it can teach you how to approach silver, how to approach being able to afford silver, and it's just an excellent entry point. Also, one other thing, you can find stackable bars. Of course, these are all loose pieces, and you can put them in a tube. You can absolutely put these rounds in a tube. I've got my maples in a tube, but if the lid ever pops off of this thing, or you drop it onto a hard surface and the lid pops off, your coins and your rounds are gonna go everywhere. So I know that doesn't happen very often. Silver stackers are typically very careful with their pieces, but you know, it can happen. It's a lot easier to stay more organized with stackable bars. You can just boom, 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 put them in the corner of your safe, and you've got $1,500, $2,500, $4,000 worth of silver right there in the corner of your safe if you're getting stackable bars. And they don't require a capsule, they don't require a tube. They're just simple, easy, bulk ways to hold your wealth. So that's another strength of bars. Me personally, I value the divisibility and easy entry price of rounds, but I also value how condensable 10-ounce bars are and how easy they are to stack and hold a significant amount of value in a relatively small amount of space. I mean, if I was to stack up, 20 of these like this, I mean, that's a ton of money, and I could just stick it in my safe and I would have that value. But anyways, guys, I kind of play both. I like the divisibility. It allows me to use this for barter if I ever needed to, instead of just being stuck with 10-ounce bars. But then I have this, whenever the gold and silver ratio comes around, I know that I bought my pieces for a low premium, and I can just bring 6 or 7 of these in to my coin dealer and swap it out for a nice, pretty piece of yellow metal. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. Peace.